Hello, everyone. Welcome to the February 2025 monthly Zoom for ag teachers and advisors here in Arkansas. We've got a lot of updates. It is officially kind of getting out of our winter time frame and kind of moving into our spring time frame. The weather next week may not be very telling of spring, but we are kind of preparing for our dates and our updates for our spring season. So we have a lot to discuss. Hopefully, you can see my screen now, and then we will get started. All right, so here is that monthly newsletter. I apologize for sending that out so kind of last minute there for today. There's been a lot of kind of shifting and changes and trying to make sure that everything is correct before we get that sent out to you. But I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Mr. Benz first. He'll give some state staff updates. And then we are going to go ahead and we'll hit on some AVATA updates. And then we're going to jump over to foundation. So we're going to go a little bit out of order, but I'll go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Benz now. Oh, it looks like you're muted. Oh, nope, not yet. As y'all can tell, Mr. Benz is actually at Camp Couchdale today, doing a little bit of work, making sure that everything is set to go for some upcoming events. But he is joining us from an iPhone instead of from the office today, so he'll get his sound rocking and rolling. I'll tell you what, we're gonna come back to Mr. Benz. I'm actually gonna turn back over to we're gonna go ahead and do AVATA updates. That way we can kind of let Riley Swafford, past um, FFA state FFA officer reporter of last year. He has kind of been helping AVATA in the Day at the Capitol event. I do want to kind of give some time for Riley, so that way he can kind of bounce off of here. So if you can just go ahead and we'll turn it over to Riley now.
All right, can everybody hear me? Awesome. So, good morning, everyone. I'm a little sick right now, so if I sound a little rough, just know that's because what it is. So, I've been working with Mr. Weedor and AVATA to help plan this Capital Day. It's been really cool, and I look forward to it. So, Mr. Weedor facilitated like a small registration and getting all the chapters to come. So, we do have, I think, a full list of members and chapters coming right now. Right now, our tentative schedule, and I do want you guys to know, working with people in policy and working with people at the state legislature, things do constantly change. So I call it tentative, but it is very set in stone. However, things may change when it comes to the more capitally things. So we're going to be at the Association of Arkansas Counties building in their conference room. It's just walking distance from the state capitol. So from 8:30 to 9, you guys can arrive. We're going to be doing registration. It's going to be very simple, just signature, say how many members you brought. From at 9 o'clock, we're going to have a welcome from the Arkansas FFA state officers. At 9:15 to 9:35, the Arkansas Farm Bureau Director of State Affairs, Mark Lambert, he's going to be speaking about the legislative process and how Farm Bureau interacts with that. At 9:40 to 10, we're going to have Senator John Bozeman's assistant agriculture worker. His name's Joshua Mullenix. We're currently working on potentially Zooming with the senator or getting a video from him. So updates from that. It just depends on his schedule. He's a very busy man. Reese Mitchell and Taylor Moffitt, which are past state presidents, they both have experience in public policy and internships, so they know all that good stuff. They're going to do a 45-minute workshop on just how to advocate. So how to reach out to state legislators if you feel passionate about policy, how to contact them, the proper way to do that. So I'm excited about that workshop. We're going to do about a 15 minute to 30-minute break, depending on how the schedule folds out. We're going to have a good snack table for the members, and then we're going to have drinks and stuff. I will be getting that ready for AVATA. And then the state officers are going to do a very small workshop, just concluding everything. We're then going to walk over to the state capitol, where we're going to do a big group photo in front of the staircase from 11 to 12:15. From 11:30 to 1, we're going to be split into two different groups. So group A from 11:30 to 12:15, they're going to be doing tours of the Capitol, and then while they're doing that, group B is going to be in a committee room with Secretary Wes Ward, the Secretary of Agriculture, Wes Ward. He's just kind of get a debrief of the hot topics in ag and what members can do to help our rural farmers and ranchers and even the ag educators. So there we go. I think he just pulled it up. So and then the from 12:15 to 1, they're going to flip flop. So Secretary Wes Ward, and then they're going to be doing tours with the Secretary of State's office. So, like I said, the location, it's going to be at the Association of Arkansas Counties building in the conference room in the Arkansas State Capitol. The member dress code is official dress. Advisor dress code is business casual preferred. However, I'm going to leave that up to you guys, whatever you feel is appropriate. Students, so the whole entire emphasis of this event is students will be hearing from individuals directly involved within the government and the agriculture industry. We're going to learn how to properly advocate for agriculture and agriculture education. Just to make sure everything runs smoothly, I will be sending out specific arrival details and schedule details February 11th, which is a week prior to this event. I will be sending out a finalized schedule a week prior to the event, just like I said. So if there's any questions, or Mr. Weedor, if you want to add any emphasis to this event, you can definitely help that along.
Awesome. Thank you, Riley. Does anybody have any questions for Riley as we're going to let him jump off the Zoom as soon as we're finished? Does anybody have any questions? Awesome. Well, Riley, thank you so much for organizing all of this and working with AVATA. We really appreciate you, and from all your internship this summer and all of the hard work that you kind of put in. We really appreciate you. We will look forward to that email that you will send out 1 week prior with all of this information. So once again, thank you, and make sure that everyone understands that most of this is very set in stone, but it may be flexible, as Riley mentioned. So thank you, Riley.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
All right. So we're going to now turn it back over to Mr. Benz. I believe that he's got his sound figured out. And we are going to just kind of hammer out through some state staff updates. We have a lot that we did in January, and then we have a lot that's coming up this month as well.
All right, sorry about that. Can everybody hear me now? I managed to leave the house without my computer charger, and we're down to about 6%. So I figured I better jump on my phone. And then, of course, I had the ultimate dad moment and actually felt my dad and couldn't operate an iPhone for the moment. So we're going to try to roll through this really quickly. So y'all can go about your day, and then obviously have time for questions then if you have that. Because we do have a bunch of stuff this month. We just come off a very busy month, a busy couple months. So we just finished up Southern LDEs and Northwest LDEs, so we concluded the district contest for those, and we have our kids that will be moving on to the state contest. We had our first ever legacy conference, and was pretty happy with the number we had for a first event, and awards workshops. Those were very popular. As we kind of move on, if you have any input, if you attend those, please send those. We would like to, build upon that. This was just an inaugural year and see how it would work. And now that we kind of have our footing under us and made it through a weekend, we would like to see Legacy Conference, eventually break out and be 3 weekends and run those along with Green Hand conferences, provide those opportunities here at camp for our seniors one last time. And then if we can ever expand on the awards, and make y'all's lives easier, and be able to provide that, we want to build on it. State officers, and Mr. Merrick just got back from San Antonio, had the honor of attending the American Farm Bureau convention, had tons of positive reviews that the kids were there. The entire team was there. So it definitely did the purpose we needed to, and that's just to be seen. And I think our kids just enjoyed being able to be there and see that. I had our inaugural auctioneering CDE contest. I think it was a blast too. I didn't get to go, but me and Mr. E watched a lot of it on the live feed. We were out visiting schools. Mr. Merrick got to be there and witness it firsthand, and it's going to be a really exciting contest moving forward, and then going to bring another exciting piece to state convention. And then we wrapped up our CTE day at the Capitol this week. We had the state officers in the rotunda along with our other CTSOs, and had the opportunity to speak to a lot of legislators and just individuals and parents about what career education is looking like in the state and how CTSOs fit into that. So it was a really positive morning. Membership payments, we had backed those up a little bit. We had a little bit of a kink in the system, getting invoices out for y'all that are paying with individual dues. We are troubleshooting through that right now with Tyler and Lori to get those out. If you just feel like you need to pay those and get those done, it still is the $17 per kid. Like I said, the only thing we've seen that was affected was if you're paying individuals, you're affiliated, those are there, and a lot of those have already been paid for. Washington Leadership Conference large group registration is closing. So if you have students, please get signed up on that so we can start making plans on travel and how to get those there. You also have registration is open and is opening for our contest, and we'll be closing shortly. I know with the weather coming in and practice contests, do not forget these dates, because if you miss the date, you will not take kids to district CDEs. So make sure you have that marked on your calendar. And also too, to make sure you're aware that this year we are collecting names as you register. You know, this is something we kind of been working towards the last few years, mainly on the fact of safety and being able to provide contest location with who's supposed to be there. It's not going to be used to check Scantrons and make sure, you know, if you put Jimmy in a contest that Billy didn't show up and is competing. It is surely to, one, provide a safety measure in case we're at a college and go down into, say, an active shooter situation. We've got to do a better job on our end. If we did get in those situations, that we know who is in what buildings, and those kids are accounted for, those kids are safe, so we can then notify schools or notify these teachers, and they can notify parents, because we all know if we have those situations, it's going to become very stressful very quickly, and we need to be able to provide that information to the proper authorities, even if it's such as, you know, a building fire or any type of evacuation. We've got to have a better job. And then it's also just a double check to make sure that all kids that are competing in contests are verified FFA members and they are on a roster as we move forward. With that, we are going to open registrations back up a week before your district contest, because you may have some that have changed or something has happened. So you will get 1 day to fix that. Now that will just be to change names. You will not be allowed to add teams or delete teams during that process. So you, like I said, you will have the opportunity if you need to make changes. And for some reason, we will have an opportunity to change names at the registration table day of, but this is just really for kids that maybe have gotten sick or didn't show up, or we've had some type of emergency situation where a kid is not there. It's not going to be the change 10, 15, 20 names. It's just going to be for those situations that we all know happen. And then state only CDs, those are going to be opening up at the end of the month and then close the 14th. And then we just extended the deadline for state convention apps. It was originally due next week. We've gave another 2 weeks. We know a lot of schools have been out due to flu and various sickness. And then we are monitoring and well aware of the winter weather that is possible moving next week. So we went ahead and moved those back. I do just ask, though, please don't wait the last minute, because I don't envision a situation where there's going to be an extension beyond that, just because that really hinders us in getting score results, getting plaques ordered, and making arrangements for state conventions. So just know it's gone to the 28th, and then registration and housing will open up on the 3rd. And then we'll start having more information coming out shortly on that. We're almost down to the final master schedule and be able to provide that to teachers, and then hopefully get to start releasing some of the exciting stuff shortly on concert and guest speakers and all that good stuff. From there, we have National FFA Week. I know we have lots of programs doing great things. So, share on your website. Make sure you're putting out there on social media what your chapter is doing. We have Give Day coming up. We have the AVATA Day at the Capitol on the 18th, which we're all excited about, and can't wait to see everybody on the Hill in your blue jackets. From there, we'll move into the state officer candidate meeting, which will be on March 8th. And then we're fastly working on a Camp Couchdale cleanup day. Miss Patty has asked for that we can come in and do some cleanup projects and help her here at Camp Couchdale and get ready for spring and get ready for the summer. Kind of some things we've already started talking about is if you have pressure washers, that's always one thing that takes forever, is pressure washing sidewalks, cleaning buildings and stuff like that. And then we'll start having another list of things that will be done that day and what maybe you can provide camp to help continue to make Camp Couchdale to us the greatest place in the world. So, and then Green Hand, that makeup day will be the 14th, 15th of March because of the weather that we've had to reschedule. Then we'll move in the World Food Prize. Registration opens the 7th, closes the 17th. There's also a link here for more information. Ag Science Fair, please check the updated bulletins and the website. And then that deadline is March 20th at noon. It is a little longer than the other state deals because we don't need near as much time to prep. Plus, you need a little bit more time for your students to gather information and put all that into a document. We do have ag teacher in-service dates. It's moved to July 22nd through the 25th. This will be with ACTE the week they're having that, and we'll have more details as that master schedule comes together. I think that's it, Merrick, unless you have anything else.
Nope. I think that's a lot of state staff updates. Thank you, Mr. Benz, as we kind of work through February and really into March. We tried to throw in a little bit of important dates in March into that as well. But that's a really good summary of what we've really got it going on for the February and March into spring. All right, so down the center of the column, WLC, Arkansas Large Group, that's going to be closing, as Mr. Ben said, and then it goes all the way down of when the next Zoom meeting will be. And so that's kind of the major dates, especially deadlines and events. I left off the registration opening, but those are some key dates. Now it is time for our foundation updates. We do have some very, very exciting news, and I am so honored to give this news. As you have seen with the press release, along with social media, the foundation has in fact hired a new executive director. And I will turn it over to her at this time, Miss Taylor Wiseman.
Well, thank you. I'm really excited in some ways to come back to Arkansas and Arkansas FFA. So I'm pretty excited to be in this role and figure out what does it look like for the foundation to help, make everything that we talked about here possible so that when you all have students in your classroom, you're taking members to events, and state staff is planning all of this, money is not the limiting factor. And so we're excited to see what that looks like over these next few months, but really kind of what's that vision for the foundation so that any desire that a student has, any goal they have can be accomplished, and money doesn't limit that. So a lot of exciting things to pick up on that have already been established in the state, but also to just keep growing those. Specifically coming up in less than 2 weeks is Give FFA Day. And that is a day that is dedicated to promoting giving dollars to FFA. National FFA kicked it off, but they have a link specifically for states. And so I would encourage you, and as you're promoting this, to encourage folks to designate Arkansas as they give that day so that money comes to the state. And we're able to use it here. And so there'll be some challenges that day, some matching funds that are posted. If you know some folks that want to give specifically towards Give FFA Day, but not on the online platform, just reach out to me. We can accommodate a check as well. We just need to know it's coming to be able to count it for that day. And then also, if your chapter wants to be a Foundation Plus chapter, I would encourage you to think about giving it during that week, National FFA week as well, just so we can, highlight it. You can highlight it on your social medias accounts, and then it will help our total as well. And then that, I guess, deadline for the Foundation Plus is coming up. It's March 15th. And so that program is staying the same as it has been in years past. So there's state convention recognition, priority registration for different events, and then a scholarship for a student to go to ALC. So those are just a few updates on the foundation side. Just appreciate the warm welcome from so many of you. Please reach out if there's anything that we can be helpful with. And hopefully as things get going, you'll see more and more updates as we try to make Arkansas FFA the best for our students.
Awesome. Thank you, Taylor. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns about the foundation updates? All right, we'll save some questions towards the end as well, but we're going to kind of go ahead and move on to ABATA. We have already heard from one update for the day at the Capitol, hosted by ABATA on February 18th that Riley had discussed. But also, in addition to that, to recap from January, the new teacher Zoom meeting happened, and Mr. Rodney Weedor, worked through some of that, and he was able to help some of those new teachers on trying to develop their plan for CDE trainings and what's the spring really look like. So thank you to Mr. Weedor for that. If you do have any questions for the ABATA day at the Capitol, please make sure that you reach out to Justin Weedor for more information. And then Riley Swafford will also, he'll have some more information in about a week out if you were able to make it into the top for that 150 members. So next for ABATA is going to be the New Teacher Winter Symposium. The new date for that is going to be the 14th to the 15th. And it's going to be partnered with the Green Hand Week 3. And you will be contacting Rodney Weedor to register. And if you have any information, if you have any suggestions for that, just make sure to reach out to him. Not necessarily with ABATA, but we will also be having the pre-service teacher workshop and conference at that same weekend. So we're going to have a lot going on at Camp Couchdale, 2 weekends back to back, but it'll be really beneficial for trying to gain the interest of teaching for ag teachers that are coming into the classroom. For NAAE Region 2 Conference, that's going to be held in Corpus Christi this year in Texas. The event date's June 15th to the 19th. There's a lot of information that's starting to come out more about Region 2. Feel free to go on to NAAE's website and check over that. So our Teach Ag College program meeting, this is something that's pretty new. Rodney Weedor is working through this along with our professionals for the ones that are teaching Ag Ed at the college level. So Dr. Estep, Dr. Doss, Dr. Killingsworth, Dr. Nina Crutchfield, and Dr. Kopi Moore. They're all kind of working together on developing some program meetings at the college level. So we appreciate AVATA for organizing that. If you have any membership questions for AVATA, make sure you contact James Cannon. For the Arkansas Farm Bureau updates, I don't see anyone on here at the time for these updates, but I'll go ahead and kind of quickly run through. They also their membership attended the American Farm Bureau convention, along with upcoming is the Arkansas Farm Bureau Ag Leadership Summit. That's something that is really beneficial for members across the state to attend. That will be June 1st to the 4th at SAU. There's a link down at the bottom. That deadline is also March 15th. As we roll into National FFA updates, there's a lot the National FFA is kind of putting out right now, especially with their grants and application for teacher ambassador. Now, the applications are, in fact, open right now for the National Teacher Ambassador Program. That's something that I personally did right now. Kaisa Holland is that contact. She is our ambassador for the state. They have historically accepted multiple in the state. So if you are interested in any way, feel free to contact Kaisa Holland, or you can contact myself. We will gladly give you the rundown of what that really entails. There's a link for more information down here. That deadline is March 1st. So that's going to be coming up very quick in the next 3 weeks. Make sure that you get that application in. National FFA grants, those are always a great thing to look over. For the alumni conference for there in Costa Rica, that deadline is going to be March 15th, as well as several of our other deadlines. National FFA Foundation is seeking student-made SAE items. This is the second month that this has been included in this newsletter. Something that the foundation is just trying to spread SAE awareness and kind of help spread the joy of students creating an item and formulating that for their SAE, and how can they help support. Maybe that's giving that to their sponsors, etc. New Century Farmers Conference, that deadline is going to be, those applications are due February 15th. There, in addition to a lot of the resources that National FFA is putting out, they have made a brand guide and really a Canva resources guide for really for ag teachers and FFA programs and officers to really be able to utilize to basically tell their story. And that can be used at all the time during the year, but then it also specifically can be helped with the addition of National FFA Week that's happening this month. Make sure that if you're students or yourself, or maybe your alumni want to participate in promote the National Ag Day, there's more information here. And then there's that deadline of that date is March 18th. The resource corner, I know that this has been a resource in the past, but National FFA Week implementation guide, there's lesson plans, activities, choice boards, all sorts of stuff, along with videos and just kind of a awareness of FFA that you can utilize not only for your students, but you can also utilize that for your community, your alumni, your administration. There's a whole bunch of stuff on there. How do you use it? There's last minute plans. I'm sure some of you have been planning your National FFA Week for probably months now, and there's some last minute resources in there that's been available for quite some time. Some wise owl advice. We'll kind of go through these. Mr. E is on the road traveling to different schools right now. And then we'll just kind of run through these, and then we'll ask Mr. Benz if he's got any last minute advice for that. But outstanding invoices, beside the invoices for membership, the original membership, not affiliation, make sure that you're paying your invoices. We still have several chapters who have not paid their invoices. Maybe that's from ALC, from CPC, really from impact conferences, all the way back. So make sure that you get those submitted and paid. You will not be able to register for CDEs, and some of your accounts are still locked. So make sure that you get those in. National FFA Week is this month. Finalize all your plans and make sure that you have a great week celebrating with your students, your community, and your school. Multiple applications are going to be due this month, so make sure that you don't miss any of those deadlines. Now is the time to start planning for your end of the year banquet. It's hard to believe it's already time to start planning for your end of the year banquet. There's some information there. Make sure you get your awards ordered. I would say that give National FFA at least 3 weeks to get your awards labeled or engraved and everything and sent over to you. Make sure that's a pretty important deadline for National FFA. If you plan to install new officer team, start thinking about applications, start thinking about nominating process. What do elections look like? All of those things, and then also if you want a state officer to come to your banquet, make sure that you complete this form at least 2 weeks out. And that says at least, the more time, the better. That you can help Mr. Benz as he kind of plans to where all of those go. At least 2 weeks. The earlier, the better. That would be fantastic. And then start gaining some interest of the students who want to show livestock. Maybe host a parent meeting within some information. Mr. E, do you have, or sorry, Mr. E, Mr. E's not on here. Mr. Benz, do you have any other advice, anything that you would like to add to this list?
Just a couple things. I mean, it is a busy time of the year, so obviously reach out to our office if you need help. Reach out to your neighbor schools and ask those questions, especially you prepare for CD contests. Go through those last minute checks. Make sure kids know your chapter number, so their Scantron counts at contest. One other deadline that I forgot. So if your school is interested in the elementary ag pilot program, those applications are due the 15th of this month. I think right now we've had about 43 schools submit. We are going to narrow that down to 30 to fit the pilot program, but there's still time to be considered. Then we're going to make those notifications to school by March the 1st, so plans can be made. And if you have questions about that, obviously reach out to me, reach out to Danette Span at Farm Bureau. That's helping run that program. We're really excited and of where that actually can go for us and how it's going to continue to teach kids about agriculture in our state, starting in kindergarten, and bridging some of those gaps before they get to us in the high school level. But other than that, I don't really have anything besides, listserv is gone. I don't know if we've mentioned that on here. So the state listserv, they did deactivate that at the end of last week. So you will start seeing emails temporarily coming through just Google lists that we've made to make contact. Nothing's really changed as far as if you need something sent out, just get it to one of us on state staff. It's just going to look a little different. We are currently working with Tyler. They're going to get a new listserv set up through the Arkansas FFA website. So with that said, if you have not gone on and updated in a while, if your email's changed, or some of y'all, we've kind of got some, Gmail accounts, we need to get those changed over to your school accounts. And then if you have a co-teacher, because we do have several teachers that have never even logged on to the website. We're allowed to see, we can see who has not been on the website and not created a profile. As we transition listservs, if you are not updated on arkansasfa.org, you will not be getting information. And then just, if you do get emails, please read them. And I know at times they can be several. We try to keep them to a minimum, but please read through your emails completely on honestly before making that phone call to us. I know we're here to serve and we do a lot, but as we are now out traveling more than we ever have to schools, sometimes it takes a while for us to return those phone calls, and it may be provided in that email. So.
All right, Mr. Benz, do you want to mention about the town hall meetings for CDEs? We didn't list those on there, but we can talk about those if you would like.
So last night we had our Eastern District meeting, and as we were kind of going through lots of different things, we decided it may be beneficial, especially as many new teachers we have and people that's moved around. We're going to have a CDE town hall meeting per district. It'll be 8 days before a contest, and that's just to kind of go through some last minute checks and tips, and then talk about logging on and changing names of individuals. We figured that maybe just to help. So if you've got anything that you think should be brought up that some of our veteran teachers have on to tell our younger ones not to miss, please send those to us in an email. We've kind of put that duty right now on the CDE committees, but there may be something that is missed, and hopefully just some last minute reminders. So one, we want every kid to enjoy the experience. We don't ever want y'all to feel like you don't know what's going on when you show up to a contest, and hopefully these will help.
I think those will be really beneficial for all of our district contests, and then I'm sure that we'll probably have one for state as well, for as we kind of go forward and as we're submitting names. That's something that's very new, and we'll talk about that as well in those meetings.
And that,
Those, go ahead.
hey, Mr. Merrick. So two, we've had our district meetings. We're fastly working on getting bulletins updated. Please get on and look at the bulletins and make sure you're not responsible for a contest. You're not responsible for driving a bus. Our university doing an awesome job of organizing contests, and then our partners from the industry, but we still cannot make contests happen if we do not have teachers there assisting, and teachers assisting transporting students to contests. And it's nothing more frustrating on state staff when there's supposed to be a bus there and it is not there. So if you're on a list and for some reason you get sick and can't come, please let us know as quickly as possible. If you're willing to be a backup plan for a bus, please let us know too. That way, if we do have those situations, someone's running late or somebody woke up sick and they're supposed to transport livestock, we've got a list of teachers that we know we can call and say, hey, I need you to jump in. Because that's truly what makes these contests work, is all the behind the scenes that you advisors put on and help with.
All right. So down at the very bottom of the last page, it says it's got more key dates. It has gone all the way down to the 98th Arkansas FFA State Convention. So it's all the way through April. So there's quite a bit of dates on there for March, both March and April. So now we will go ahead and open it up. And does anybody have any questions, any comments that they would like to bring up as we start to close out the meeting? All right, going once, going twice. All right, there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording. And then if anyone wants to hang out and ask some questions off the recording, you're welcome to do that. Those of you who have watched this back, watched the recording, thank you so much. Feel free to reach out to us for anything that you might need, and you'll have a great day.